How to increase your income in retirement. This is great. People are going to be like, I can't believe John said that. Oh, such a scam. My man said Deepto Banerjee from T. Rowe Price, who used to be with EBRI, Employee Benefits Research Institute. Such a huge fan of Deepto. The guy just crushes, always has. I've emailed him a couple times. We've emailed back and forth and follow him on LinkedIn. I said, hey, can I interview you one time? He goes, I don't think T. Rowe Price would take kindly to me doing interviews without their, knowing what we're going to talk about. I said, okay, I actually, but he was a good guy. I like him. Anyway, so he had written this article a couple months ago for T. Rowe Price, because he's now with T. Rowe Price. So we're going to, can I get this? What is that there for? I wish I could get that out of the way. Retirees want to preserve their assets. For a long time, we had oversimplified understanding of how retirees spend down their savings. Economists predicted that retirees will systematically spend down their savings to fund retirement. So financial professionals came up with things like the 4% rule. However, a body of new research, I don't think it's actually that new, but a new body of research on retiree behavior suggests that many of them commonly held assumptions that are not, in fact, what people do. To better understand this, as part of our 7th annual retirement savings study, we asked retirees how they spend their savings. Nearly 70% of retirees said they manage their money to preserve their assets. They're not using the 4% rule because that means they're going to have to dip into principal. Retirees don't want to do that. Only a small minority of retirees said they use their savings to fund their current consumption. Data of retirees' drawdown patterns support this. In 2018, my man Sadipto, EBRI study found that during the first 2 decades of retirement, retirees spent down their assets very slowly. The research showed that more than a third of retirees with over $500,000 in investable wealth had increased their assets during this period. Why? Check this out. Right here. Most retirees manage their money to preserve or increase their assets. They do so by lowering their spending. Wealthier retirees who could do better afford to maintain their lifestyles experience the sharpest declines in their spending. What that means is people don't want to dip into principal. They don't. So what happens is you'll spend to the level of your guaranteed income. This is a fact, dude. Everybody does this. It's nuts. We all know this. We've known this for years and years and years. People hate dipping into their principal. That's why I say, if I could get a 4% dividend rate on $1 million, I'll take $40,000 a year off, not touch my principal. If I get 3% on a CD, I'll take $30,000 a year off, not touch my principal. People hate tapping into the principal. Thus, the 4% rule assumes you're going to have to tap into the principal at some point. The 5% rule doesn't matter. People don't want to do that. It's just that simple. So people spend less in retirement, especially in the front end of retirement, than they could otherwise because they're so worried about sequence of return risks and spending down their assets via principal reduction. So check this out. Let's just drop my phone. To avoid dipping into their savings, retirees adjust their essential spending to match their level of guaranteed income. 100%. 100% to match their level of guaranteed income. Right here. Majority of retirees want to preserve their savings for the future. They don't want to touch the principal. How do retirees manage to do this? If they don't have earnings from work and they're reluctant to spend down their money, how are they funding their spending needs? Retirees cut down their spending. Hey, loudmouth. Retirees cut down their spending, as I've said 1,000 times. We estimated on average inflation-adjusted retiree spending goes down by 2% every year. That's including inflation. This helps retirees maintain their savings, all right? All right. Moreover, wealthy households who are in the top 20% of terms of their net worth, i.e. a net worth of $667,000, cut down their annual spending by 2.7%. This helps them slow their decumulation. All right, so check this out. Household spending, as you can see, people with $20,000 a year, they jump up when they first retire, and then they just flatten off at 20, and then they go down. But this is a bigger households right here. 60, you can see the dropping. Why? Because they're trying to preserve, and even higher income households, it just drops like a ton of bricks. It's across the board, dude. Retirees match essential spending to guaranteed income. Retirees adapt. Your neighborhood dog is running around. Stop. He's like, I want to play. Charlie, the neighborhood dog, is a chocolate lab, the cutest thing ever. He's like, I want to play with Finny and Pablo, but he's not coming in here because they'll jump in our pool. All right, on average, okay, right here. Non-discretionary items like mortgage or rent, groceries, gas, healthcare make up the bulk of retirees' spending. On average, they account for 75 to 80% of total spending throughout retirement. Non-discretionary mortgages, rent. Retirees adapt their spending to match their income by matching their non-discretionary or essential spending to their guaranteed income, which includes Social Security. What I'm saying. Non-discretionary spending quickly becomes aligned with guaranteed income. So we start right here. There's our guaranteed income at 1. We first retire. We're spending a little bit more than guaranteed income. And then it slowly drops to about 72. And then our essential spending, our non-discretionary spending drops to what our guaranteed income is. So annuities, oh my goodness, how dare you, annuities. Fear of running out of money is a primary driver of asset preservation, and households with higher levels of guaranteed lifetime income should spend down their savings more freely. Get that? If the fear of running out of money is a primary driver of asset preservation, then households with higher levels of guaranteed lifetime income should spend down their savings more frequently. Instead, the opposite is happening. This has 2 implications. First, households have a strong preference for asset preservation. In addition to consumption, they also derive satisfaction from the levels of assets they hold. Secondly, higher levels of guaranteed income help them preserve assets more successfully. I did a video on this the other day just proving that. Well, prove for what you can use it for. But so what you do is you take some of your accounts and you annuitize it for a guaranteed level of income. That will increase your income. And you won't worry so much about it. Say, man, let's just say I went from $60,000 to $80,000, whatever. Now, I don't know how much it costs for an annuity to give you $20,000 a year guaranteed income. You're going to spend to the extent of your guaranteed income. That's just a fact, dudes. So the best way to increase your retirement income is to annuitize a portion of your retirement accounts, because it'll guarantee a certain level of income that you can't outlive. And that will give you more leeway to spend. You're like, okay, now I got $60,000 of guaranteed income where before I had $40,000. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to spend $60,000 because it's guaranteed. That's how you increase your retirement income. Annuitizing a portion of your retirement accounts. There's no other way around that, man. There's just no 2 ways around that. It will give you satisfaction knowing you're spending more. It'll give you a reprieve from worrying about running out of money. You don't have to worry so much about the sequence of return risk. And it'll spend down more of your assets, or you'll spend more of your assets for things you want to do, especially in the front stage of your retirement plan, as opposed to worrying about it. And then the rest you can keep for preservation if you want. But man, don't live like a freaking pauper so your kids can live like kings. Just don't do that, dudes. All right, love your thoughts. We'll see you.